There is one thing you absolutely have to do if you want to start winning landscape photography awards. I did it, and I won my first International Landscape Photography Award last week with this very image. So if you're ready to start winning awards, in this video I'm going to show you the 1 change that you need to make before you even stand a chance of winning, and then the 4-step framework that you can follow today that's going to get your images award ready. So let's get into it. Now, successful athletes, they all tend to have coaches. Why is this? Well, it's because they value having someone there to give them objective feedback on their performance. And if you want to win landscape photography awards, you probably need the same thing. I mean, take a look at this photo, for example. I've got a lot of emotion tied to this image. It was a beautiful morning up on the hill, but I was stressing because I thought I'd completely missed the light. Then out of nowhere, the sun broke through and I captured this shot. Then I walked down the hill, had an amazing afternoon with my dog, Walter, my wife, and my baby daughter in the Lake District. And I've got all that wrapped around this image, all of this emotional kind of joy and love and appreciation. So this image is a 9 out of 10 for me personally because of all that positive emotion that's tied to it. But the issue is that competition judges weren't there with me when I took the image. They certainly weren't in the pub with me when I went out with my dog, my missus and my daughter after the fact. And they just frankly don't even care about my experience of taking that photo. They're purely looking at the image itself when they're judging competitions. And they might consider it quite a basic composition from a pretty obvious location in the Lake District. And so they might not consider it all that noteworthy. And that is why you need an outside perspective on your images when you try to decide what images you should enter into competitions and ones that you should probably just keep for yourself. It's a second set of eyes that are looking at your work, and those second set of eyes aren't wearing the rose-tinted glasses that we all are as photographers when we capture these images ourselves. For example, Eduardo went through my training program, Landscape Mastery, and through my unbiased feedback and his hard work, he has gone from taking images like this to this, and from capturing scenes like this to creating beautifully composed shots like this. So what you got to think about doing is getting some feedback from someone who is just a few steps ahead of you. Someone who can be objective about what they're seeing in your portfolio of images, and they can help point you in the right direction as to the images that the judges are going to enjoy and then award awards to as well. So think about getting some feedback from someone who is perhaps even just a few steps ahead of you, someone who can be objective about what they're seeing when they look at your portfolio of images. Okay, so now you've decided to take this quest for photographic glory seriously, and you're going to hire a photography coach. Well, how then do you narrow down the images that you ask for that coach for feedback on? Right, imagine a customs officer at an airport watching scans of bags that go through the scanner. It's scan after scan after scan after scan. They don't stop and take the time to admire every suitcase that goes through there, right? In fact, they're going to be blind to the average holidaymaker's sandals and swimwear when they go past time and time and time again. But if something novel hits their screen, it's instantly going to grab their attention, and they're going to, well, what's happened to me recently is pull you to one side and grill you because why would you be taking 2 camera bodies and all these lenses on a plane? And then they're going to nearly make you miss your flight, and you're going to be irate about it, so much so that you talk about it in a YouTube video a few months later. Well, the same phenomenon happens with competition judges. They're seeing similar images after similar images. They've got similar editing with a similar composition in well-known locations over and over and over and over again. So you've got to find a way to stand out from the crowd and grab their attention. Now, my image that was awarded highly commended in this year's IGPOTY Awards, why does it stand out? Well, personally, I think it's because of the bold colour of the heather at the bottom of the frame, and then the clear single subject of the rock in the middle of the frame. And if you imagine a competition judge flying through 500, maybe even more, very similar images, I think those 2 elements would be enough to maybe not get them to stand up and applaud at the image as they see it on the screen in front of them, but perhaps enough for them to stop, just pause for a split second and look at the image entirely, and that is half the battle won with landscape photography competitions. So when you're narrowing down your images to potentially enter competitions, try to pick the ones that are going to stand out from the crowd. Proactively give the judges a real reason to stop and take a look at your work. Now, with that said, standing out isn't enough. If you really want to win, you've also got to play within the rules. rules. Okay, so a world-renowned landscape photographer reached out to me this week to congratulate me on the award that I'd received. I was very chuffed that this person reached out to me. It was very kind of them. He was telling me that he judges a bunch of international photography competitions every single year, and he shared something with me that was kind of shocking, right? He said that when he's judging landscape photo competitions, he can often cull, just absolutely remove 20 to 30% of the images that he's sent to judge in one single pass by just removing the images that hadn't paid attention to the rules of that specific competition. And those rules might be whether there can be people in the photos within the scene, the file formats that the image has to be submitted in, resizing rules, limits on AI within the editing process. All this can vary absolutely massively wildly from competition to competition. And, well, a busy competition judge is not sat there thinking, oh, well, this is a great photo, but they bent the rules a little bit. Let's be kind and keep them in the competition. No, they're looking for reasons to get rid of your image so they can narrow down their focus and get this judging out of the way. So don't disqualify yourself before your photos even get a chance to be judged by the judges and to grab their attention by breaking the competition rules. This is a really dumb way to lose. Okay, so now that you're in the running, do you want to know the one thing that nobody seems to do that is going to dramatically increase your chances of winning an award? Well, photography competitions tend to have the same judges year after year after year. And most people view photography, whether you are a world-class photographer who's judging competitions or you're just some schmuck off the street, right? They all tend to view photography pretty subjectively, based on their own preferences. So if you look back over the previous decisions that a judge has made, or a group of judges has made as to what the best photos are, from their perspective, with all their biases and favoritism, well, often trends start to emerge. So the goal is to look at all the previous winners of the competition that you're entering and look for similarities between those images, whether it be composition, mood, the color, the aspect ratio, editing, whatever it is. There's definitely almost certainly going to be some trends there that we can pick up on. And these trends aren't there because everyone who enters the competition are just copying each other. It's because certain visual choices are going to hit harder when the judges are scanning through a whole bunch of images to narrow down potential winners. And then again, the judges are just going to have a preference to the type of photography they like. And ignoring this is like trying to pick the photos to enter a competition blindfolded. That'd be obviously a dumb strategy. So practically, how do we leverage this to increase our chances of success? Well, just look at the previous winners of the competition that you want to enter and ask yourself, well, what kind of mood wins here? Is it dark, moody, bright, clean, dynamic, minimal? Do they favor big epic vistas or abstract shots? Do the finalists in these competitions, they lean towards big foreground shots, which is what I like to do, or flat, more graphic compositions? Ask yourself, do you see a lot of atmospheric conditions like fog and mist, or maybe it's just crisp, high contrast scenes like sunset shots that tend to win? Then you can use this knowledge to get closer to a winning photo before you even pay the fees and enter the competition. And that's what I did for the recent IGPOYT awards. In the wildflower landscapes category, there were lots of pictures of heather, right? This is the 10 minutes of research I did before I submitted the images. So what did I do? I submitted 2 photos with heather in them. And as you know, the first shot was awarded highly commended, and the second shot was a finalist in the overall category as well. So before you submit your photo, spend that 5 or 10 minutes, get a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, make the most of it. Enjoy that process, right? Just spend 5 or 10 minutes studying the last few years worth of winners. It's the easiest way to spot what works and make sure that you're playing the right game within the right rules. Okay, so all that said, what is the step-by-step framework to put all this into practice? Well, there is a 4-step photography competition winning framework that makes all of this really simple to implement and get stuck in with. So step 1, hire a coach to help you objectively pick out your best photos without all the emotional baggage that you've got tied to them. Bonus points if they've previously been a competition judge or a competition winner. Step 2 is to choose images that are going to stand out from the crowd when the judge does the first run through the images. This means an image with a strong main subject, it's got unique light, it's an amazing unique location, or really bold colors or contrast within the scene. Something basically that when a judge has got 500 images that they are literally just pounding through, at a glance, it's going to really stand out to them and they're going to want to study it a little bit more. Which brings us on to step number 3. And before you spend your hard-earned cash entering into a competition, Spend 30 seconds just reading through the rules. Learn what the competition submission deadlines are with regards to like image size and whether you can feature animals or humans in the shot, and if the photo had to be taken within a specific time frame, how much AI or how much editing in general you can do to the shot. Take the 30 seconds to run through the rules so you're not just wasting your money by submitting an image that immediately just gets removed. Which leads us on to step number 4, which is to take a look through the winners of the competition in the different categories that you want to enter over the past 4 or 5 years or so, and see if there's any winning trends you can identify. And if you've got an image that fits those trends, well, you're probably on with a decent chance of success. And you're going to have more success in landscape photography competitions if you get off your ass and you go and take more photos. So watch this video right now to learn how to take professional level images, even if you're busy, even if you say you've not got much time to go out and shoot. Click the video because we both know you don't get out to shoot quite as often as you'd like to.